So I've been wanting to do this for a while. I wanted to show you guys the 20 plus pictures of Family Guy characters that I have gotten done. I don't know what came over me back in March, April, May. May, for some reason, every year is my most artistic month of the year. The last 3 years, I've noticed I just push out so many little paintings, and then summer comes along, and usually my summers are terrible. The last 3 years have been terrible, terrible. Right now I'm trying to DoorDash, and I made a previous video talking bad about it, and it's much worse when you rely on the money and your paycheck to paycheck, and you're actually doing it full time. So, anyways, here are some of my paintings. I'm gonna start with Rollo. If you see cat here, I'm sorry. So, zoom in a little bit. This is Rollo. This is my last painting I've made. I would say at the end of May or so. His eyes aren't the best, but I had a little bit of trouble trying to get his skin tone the way I had to. I had to mix a little bit, and I don't usually mix paints because I'm lazy and I want to get a painting done as quick as possible. Usually these only take me anywhere from half an hour to 45 minutes. When I first started doing this, it would take me about an hour, but I've made it a lot quicker. I don't know, I don't mind this, but I've noticed that like the newer ones I've been pushing, I've come out with they're more paintings than they are cartoons. Instead of the edges, like for like this part right here, you can tell it's blue on the edges instead of black. Instead of outlining black, I like to do that with like a darker version of the color. That's the main color of the area. I don't know, I don't mind it. I kind of wish I would have had a different background for him, but I usually paint backgrounds in advance, like these. Bam, bam. I have like 4 or 5 of them I could easily just put out. Horse cat hair again. I don't know who I want to put here. This is like a weird cotton candy purple blue. But anyways, moving on to my next one. Seamus. This is my favorite one for sure. I feel like the only thing I missed about this is I didn't put his eyebrow right here, but not many people notice that. I don't know, I just had so much fun doing this. I'm really glad I picked orange because I don't know if you can notice the little pieces of orange through his skin, which I like. I don't know, I feel like it's a very painting type vibe when you can see the color of the background wash in between pieces of the regular painting. This is this part of him. I had this part and this part. I had so much fun doing. It was the last part I did, and I don't know. I just I think this might be something that I end up displaying, possibly at an art gallery in the future. I came across someone who is a local framer, and they were able to talk to their vendor, and they said they would go do about $28 per 4x4, where they were like cheapest option. And I was so shocked because Michaels, when I tell you, Michaels is terrible when it comes to pricing. They don't even do 4x4s. It's kind of dangerous because it's so small, but I'm just so glad that they were like, yeah, we are able to do this. I'm like, oh, they go. I'm so excited to get this framed in the future. So excited. Okay, moving on. Mort is my next one, if I can get him detached. I think I might have him framed as well and then displayed. I love what I did with his pants. As you can see, it's kind of giving very blended vibes. I like that I'm just trying zooming into my painting. What am I doing? I like that I can see the yellow through right here. His face, I had a little bit of trouble doing. I don't really care for how I did right here. I might go through and then put some more yellow right here because I had to I always use little Q-tips and then I dab it in my little, my mineral spirits and then go foo, and then gets taken off. So whatever. But otherwise, I like this. It's not too bad. it looks a lot different compared to on my camera right now. So my next one I really like. He's only in like maybe 1 or 2 episodes. Pawtucket Pat. I kind of wanted to do that because I wanted to, like, this whole 20 pieces of characters, I wanted to purposely get characters from Family Guy that are from like the first few seasons that people forget, and I love that episode. It just makes me laugh. It reminds me of when I was 13. I really like that his face, if I don't know if you can tell really close, his face is like super quickly done in black. I'm glad that I picked a like really light lime green. I have the exact same color out of a tube. Like I said, I'm lazy. And I like how I did this. Pawtucket Pat. And this right here turned out so well. So well. His pants, I decided to use a darker purple for the lining. Along with the bow, and then right here as well. I had a mix to get this lighter one. This lighter purple. In the original photo, he has like an extra character right up here. I decided to keep that out because I don't want to go into that much detail. My brushes are tiny. They're very, very small, but they're not that small. So I decided to move on with that. My next one is, I believe, she's not the first one I did for this 4x4 series, but she's one I've been wanting to do for a while, Bonnie Swanson. I kind of wish I would have went with not a purple background, but at the time, I think this was the only 4x4 I had with the color. Like I said, I think this was my first one I did at the series, I think. And it was the only one dried, and I wanted to get going, and I was just like, just give me the dang thing and I'll go. The legs are distorted. She's not long enough. The arm surprisingly is accurate to the picture that I have, and same with this being hidden away. I kind of wish the face didn't have that much texture on it, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's a 30 to 45 minute painting with oil, so it's not the easiest. Oil, it takes forever, and it smudges everywhere. Next one is Jake Tucker. I had a lot of fun with this because I kind of would do this. I would do this and sometimes paint like this and then flip it, so I didn't have to do this with my arm. I don't care for the arms. The only thing I really like about this was doing this right here with the transition, using the colors that I used within this. I started coming up with more ideas. I was like, I want to make his font a little different, and that's when I started getting more creative throughout the series. Jasper, I don't know if you guys know this, but Brian's my favorite character in Family Guy. It's the original voice, like Seth MacFarlane's original voice, and I just Brian and Jasper, I love it. I love this Brian and Stewie episodes. I think 2 of those episodes are in my top 5, where it's just them meddling around. But this one was actually a lot of fun. I'm glad I picked the orange tone where it kind of like is lighter here, and then I got darker. Sometimes I think of that stuff when I'm making them in advance, and I want to be a little different. But other than that, I don't mind this at all. I don't know if you can notice right here, the detail in the pants, or the short shorts. I did blue over the lining. Like certain things, I do that. I kind of wish I would have went through with the lining here and did like a dark red, but it still works. It's not bad. I did a basic little nameplate right here in cursive. That's when I still was doing cursive for some of the names. My next one is Ollie. This is when the thing on TikTok where they ask Ollie what the weather is, and he wants them to get him soup. I can't remember, but I'm glad I picked green. I just feel like typically the opposite of the color wheel for this would have been purple, but I picked green, and I'm glad because it looks, I don't know why I just love it so much. The color, his skin was a little bit more difficult. When I went to art school, we didn't really, we practiced skin tones for maybe 2 class periods. And when I tell you we would have models come in, they'd always be white and bald. So I didn't really practice on any other skin tone besides my Caucasian self, like my Caucasian skin tone. That was it. So I'm definitely working on darker skin tones, if you can tell. I like that I went simple with his nameplate. That was really fun. There's not much to say about him other than Ollie the Weatherman. I'm going to move on then. Rupert. Oh my god, my next one is Rupert. This one took me 17 minutes to do. It was my fastest one. This is more of a painting than it is of a cartoon. I don't know if you can tell. Just with this going on with like the detail and then the detail here, I just made it real. Like you can tell I made it quick. Same with Rupert's name being down here. I do wish it was a little smaller so it doesn't run into the picture itself, but other than that, not bad for like 15 to 17 minutes. The next one is Human Rupert. He's featured in a couple episodes. I think he's like in like a side, like it's a little side thought of Stewie's. But I had to, just because it's just so random. I do wish I would have picked something different for the background, because the background doesn't look, I don't know, it looks very smudged and quick. I don't know why it's like this. I've never had a background be this gunky looking, but it is what it is. 45-minute painting. So this one I had issues with. This is Greased Up Deaf Guy. So I don't know if you can tell here, his legs are a little bit not like long enough. I finally got, when I finally got done with him, and I'm like, I'm missing something. Oh, I'm missing up the grease. I'm missing the grease of him. I'm glad I picked this background though, because it kind of, it was really easy to do that. I do wish I could redo this part though, because you can't really tell his name that well. I mean, you could tell, if you watch Family Guy, you know who it is, but when you see the name, you're like, I can't read that well. That's when I wish I would have had the idea of, where is it? Jake Tucker with I used his colors of his body to his nameplate. I kind of wish I would have done that, because it would have lightened it up so you can tell what it says. But other than that, it's not too bad. Not my favorite, but I just like the background, because if I remember right, when I pre-made the background, I did splotching, and I like texture like that to an extent. So moving on, Evil Monkey. This one actually only took me half an hour to do, just because he's so cartoony. You can't really get too much, painting-y with this. Especially when he just has like two colors to him pretty much. I miss the Evil Monkey. I miss the early Family Guy era. His teeth were kind of gray because I decided to just quickly do the outline. Like I said, this only took me half an hour instead of 45 minutes. Glad I picked the green background. It just matches well. It's light. Since his body is darker, I went with a lighter background. I actually thought of that through. Didn't really think of the nameplate that well. Like I said, nameplate ideas came later. Moving on to James Woods. James Woods. Little too boxy right here. I really wish I would have cut off the arm a little bit right here. I kind of wish this part right here was, lighter. The background is gunky, like kind of like Human Rupert. I must have done the backgrounds the same day. I had some inspiration. I don't remember. It didn't work out well. But I kept kind of messing up on him. He kind of kept looking like, what's his face from Firefly? I kept making him look like him. He's from, The Rookie. He's from The Rookie too. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but he kept looking like him for some reason. I kept having to go through and cut off some of his face a little bit, make it a little bit more square. That's why this body is a little bit more chunky, because at the time his face used to come to here, and then I dabbed my little Q-tip and then kind of went back and took some oil paint off. Not my favorite. Oh, I also had issues with the hands. I don't know if you can notice right here and here, they're claws right now. Or they are right. They're not getting changed because I had so many issues with the freaking hands that the picture gave me. So I just went with, because this one is supposed to be like that, but this one's supposed to be different. And I'm like, I'm just going to go with that. It took me, I would say 45 minutes, but I feel like it took me a lot longer. Ugh, I had to stretch. Opie. Next one's Opie. This one's one of my favorite ones that I might frame. Just because it comes off as more of a painting than anything. It was so much fun to do. I'm glad I picked the pink background because he has kind of like a brownish maroon pants. And then his tongue, I think I took this color and then put white into it to lighten it up. I had so much fun with this painting, and I like that some of the like right here you can tell some of the background comes through. I like how I did Opie very thin, because I think I got a new brush that day, so I was able to get that detail. This one is just an extra one of Brian. Like I said, I love Brian, and when I saw this, because I was trying to come up with ideas of characters that to do, I'm like, I gotta do this. It's peanut butter jelly time. You have to. This one I might get framed just because I like it so much. Just because it's just... I don't know how to explain why I like it so much, but it just reminds me of early Family Guy. The next one, Carl. This one was towards the end. The last few that I did. Didn't really have much space for him because he's a bigger character, kind of, because this right here is a little bit too, not as long as it should be. This is right here is like really different. I don't know why I went with the font that I did, making it as blocky as I did. But it is what it is. It's not bad. It's not good. I like that it's green in the background though, so it kind of, this pops up, and I still used, if I remember right, I used the same colors as his hat, so it's not bad. James William Bottomtooth III. Not bad. I'm just now noticing some details because this is one of the first three that I did. Right here, a little bit messed up. There's some like little red splashes through, but I kind of like that because, like I said, background coming through. Not bad. Next one, this one is one of my quicker ones. This one took me about 20 to 25 minutes. Jesse. Glad I picked a brown background. It was like one of the only ones I had left before I had to make some more pre-painted background 4x4s. Very easy, very simple. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about him. Evil Stewie is next. Evil Stewie, one of the first few that I did for these 20 4x4s I did and pushed out. I just really wanted to do Stewie, and then when I came across an episode, I can't remember which one, where it's like the opposite. They travel parallel universes. I think that's what it is. There's like season 9 episode 1 or something, or no, season 9 episode 8 maybe. I know season 9 episode 1 is the one you have a clue one that's like freaking hour long. That's one of my favorites. I didn't really have too many issues with this. I just had a little bit issue with getting his head, which I always have issues with. It kind of was a little bit too elongated here, so I took some purple, and then that's why it's kind of a little bit light up here. Other than that, I like how I did here, because it straight up looks like Evil Stewie drew it. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I don't know if I'm going to frame it or not, though. This next one I had... So usually I try to get it done and then be done with it and not go back through. I actually went back through with Bertram's. This is my last one, by the way, guys. I went back through with Bertram's. His head was all the way up here. All the way up here. So I went through with yellow and then pushed it back so that it resembles an actual football and not some sort of deformed hunchback. But I don't like this one that much. I kind of wish the background was a little bit more blended versus how it is. But I also don't care because his shoes are yellow, and I wish I would have looked at that closer and picked a different color because I don't like... And then they're the exact same shades, too. So when I saw that, I'm like, damn it. Wish I would have known because now his shoes kind of blend with the background, so... But other than that, that's all. Get back up. This is all my paintings. I feel like I'm collecting cards right now. Like, look how all the rainbow of colors and the edges and everything. I have a couple more paintings that I did. They're hanging up above my sink at the moment. One of them is like one of the scenes from Kermit the Frog where it's like he's sitting and playing a banjo. One of the seasons, I think it's season 5. And then one of them is one of my favorite episodes where they travel to different dimensions together with Stewie and Brian. But other than that, that's what I've got so far. I'm gonna go DoorDash because I can't afford to pay my bills right now. Otherwise, I'd be painting my booty off probably. But I have 5 more of these I would like to get done. I don't know if I want to hang these up yet like I have the other 20-ish to 30-ish 4x4s from Family Guy because I plan on moving in the next year. Please, I want to move. I hate living where I live. I hate not having 2 bathrooms. I hate living in my city. I don't really like living here anymore. It's kind of sucky. I wish I could move states, but we'll see. Originally, we were gonna move about an hour away north of here in Wisconsin, where I live. And my husband didn't get a job trucking. Like, he was gonna get a job paying double the money he gets paid now, and I could have taken the year off and made a portfolio so that I can apprentice as a tattoo artist. And that's kind of my dream. I don't want to be in education anymore. I kind of don't care for it. Kind of get paid like shit, and I don't want to go back to be a teacher even though I have a bachelor's degree because that's $10,000 more money and a year. So literally I would get off of work and do online schooling for the rest of the night, and I don't want to do that. I really don't. I don't mind kids, but in terms of me disciplining the class, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, I want to be the para that kids go to when they're like, bro, did you see the teacher do that to me? And I'm like, yeah, you deserved it, but here we are. So, anyways, that's my Family Guy 4x4s. Thanks for hearing me out and letting me rant for a little bit there. So, bye.